All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Satsang. So good to have you all here. So I'd like you to take a moment, just tune in right now, right here to this moment. And can you see if this moment has an agenda? Does life have an agenda? Take a feel, like tune in for right this moment. Do you get a sense that life has, at this moment, has an agenda? What do you think? So feel free to unmute yourself, jump in. If you have any comments or questions, this is a participatory satsang. It's one of those things where the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, even though there's no you to get anything.
Can you just clarify, Michael, life meaning like the Tao or awareness as opposed to the me? Does the me have an agenda, or does life meaning the Tao have an agenda?
Well, that's it. That's, what do you think?
Well, if you say if life has an agenda, talking about the me or the story for sure. If you're talking about pure awareness, no.
How about this moment? Do you get the sense at this moment, or life, or whatever word we want to use, do you get the sense that life has an agenda? Does this moment lead somewhere that life needs to get to? What do you think?
No, the moment doesn't need any help.
Right? Yeah, the moment, this moment has no agenda.
Yeah, Michael, yeah, I agree with that, but I'm just wanted to put in a question today to ask you. I had a dream that last night that seemed very real and very significant for me, and I just wondered, is there a place for dreams is there a place for taking meaning from dreams? I mean dreams as in when you're asleep and yeah.
So, hold on, let me let Ron in. So, who's asking, Faith?
I suppose the me.
Right?
It was just, yeah.
Because if life has no agenda, then life isn't trying to get anything. So it's not trying to get meaning out of anything, because it is already everything. Life is everything and no thing simultaneously. It's this moment, which is nothing, appearing as everything. And everything includes everything. It doesn't leave anything out. So the me always has an agenda. There's no such thing as a me without an agenda. So me, we can say, is a synonym for agenda. Because the me is always seeking. It always wants something. When does the me not want something? So that's why if we're identified, if we're dreaming that we're a me, then the seeking will continue. So the freedom is to see that you have never been a me. And that's why we come to satsang, to get the news. And it's a shocker. Go ahead, Faith.
Oh no, it was just that in this dream, and it's been a recurring dream really, but last night was very stark. It was like everything that I care about, all the security that I base my me life on was gone for a few seconds or minutes, and I was left in sort of space freaking out. And I thought maybe this maybe this is some sort of a message that I need to let go of the me and be with that sensation of freaking out.
Yeah, so let's take a look at that. You ready to get a little work done, Faith?
Yeah, sure.
Right? It's a working satsang. So can you feel that there's a me there trying to get something out of the situation?
Out of the situation of having had the dream.
Yeah, from the experience. It's looking for something. Can you
Yeah,
all
yeah.
can you all feel that? Can we all feel this? That there's this, what does it mean? How, because really what it's saying is, how will this help me? What
Yeah,
is it?
true.
Yeah. But the news at satsang is there is no me. So that one is hopeless.
So I can just disregard it altogether?
You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But if you're a me, right, the me sees meaning in everything because to the me, it takes itself as real. So because the me thinks it's real, it needs the world to be real.
Yeah.
So everything is very heavy and very serious to the me. And there's no fun in being a me. I mean, moments, but it's a burden. And it pollutes everything it touches. The me has a falseness to it. And so when we come to satsang, we're not feeding, let me let Joyce in. At satsang, we're not feeding the me. We're not giving it its attention. That's what all the other meetups are for. The me can get fed and get built up and improve and get bigger and better and stronger. Here at satsang, and again, you have to investigate it for yourself. It's saying shockingly, and there is nothing more shocking you'll ever hear, that the me never existed.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to get rid of. Now you say, well, Michael, but wait, I feel like a me. Yeah, agreed. No dispute. It does feel like it. But we don't settle for that. That's, I would say, in quotes, the mistake is most people never investigate the me thoroughly. They just take it on, well, everyone else is a me, I'm a me, and that's just how it is. And so they're always starting from the me. So every problem is, okay, how can I fix it from the me? It will never be resolved. There's no peace there because you're already starting from the false. Do you see?
Michael?
Hi, Brittany.
Hey. So I guess I don't know, I guess I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So last week during Satsang, I just wanted to kind of sit and not identify with any like the questioner. So I sat and I just observed, and I was witnessing the one that wanted to ask questions, that wanted to speak, and I wasn't identifying with her. And so I was able to see that that's not me. The questioner is not me at all because it's observable. And then earlier in the week, I got the news that I'm going to be going to North Carolina in November, and I was witnessing my mind just trying to basically make an agenda. Who am I going to see? Am I going to see this person? Am I going to see that person? And it was really starting to like, I was like, oh my God, like this mind, I can't control it. I was like, do I need to email Michael? What do I need to do? It was just so insanely. And I just sat with myself, and it arose within me to ask whose ideas are these, or who wants this, who wants these things to happen. And as soon as those questions arose, like whose thoughts are these, who's interested in this, and I could see it was for the ego, it just like dried up, like it was like I used the example like putting water in a hot pan. It just dried up.
Yeah.
And it was, and yeah, and so I guess I just kind of wanted to give like that report.
Thank you. I did notice that. I actually, because I always tell you guys to watch these videos when they get uploaded to YouTube. I watch them 3 or 4 times, and I always learn something new. Every time you guys say the most amazing things, and a lot of times you don't even realize it. Like the stuff that comes out of your mouth is it, but it's not really grokked. Do you guys know what the word grokked means? Grokked? It means like deeply, deeply at your gut level felt. It's grokked. It's intuitively known. So it's not a mind thing. It's not something that can be figured out. So this, what we're talking about, no separation, non-duality means not two. If you go by your senses, you'll spin in circles, because your senses are designed to break everything up into apparently separate parts, so we can have this dream. But the truth is, there is no separation. There are not two things here. And that's an intuitive understanding that will either resonate, something in you will go, yes, something in you knows this. It's the truth deep, deep in, but it's been covered over with all the conditioning. And so that's why I talk about being on fire. That's what it takes. Like a rocket booster has to be strong enough to get out of the gravitational pull. Now that's all story, but that just gives you a sense that there's so many distractions and so many ways to keep falling back into the treadmill. By the way, I don't know if any of you saw the cartoon I posted in the Awakening community on Facebook. It was these 2 mice, and they were side by side on the wheel, the hamster wheel. And there's Joanne's giving it a thumbs up. And one of the mice had stopped spinning, and he was just sitting on the edge of the hamster wheel. And the other guys just keep going. And the first guy goes, "I've had an epiphany." Right? He realized he was spinning in circles, and that's what the mind does, and that's what the me does.
And then I swear, like the beginning of this thought song just kind of meshed in with what I've been experiencing for the last week, because I've been also having dreams like Faith. I had like a couple of weeks ago, I had a dream. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Sri Anandamaya Ma.
Oh.
Yeah. So I saw her in a dream a couple of weeks ago, and then today I was taking a nap in my car at work, and I saw her in my dream again.
Wow.
And I wake up, and I'm witnessing the mind going, oh my God, what is that? Is that, is this important? Am I supposed? And then I'm trying to keep it at a distance, like, oh, wait a minute. Who's trying to, give meaning to this? I'm like, so I'm trying to just like, observe, and then it kind of just died down, and yeah.
Wow. So that's beautiful, right? What I'm saying is, like, to Brittany and Faith, just because there's never been a me. That's the message. So you can enjoy your dreams. You can be scared by them. You can be entertained by them. You can seem like there's deep meaning in them. It's all the play of Leela. It's beautiful. It's divine. Nothing wrong. It's only when we try and become complete, we try and use the material world to complete ourselves, to become whole. And that's what the me is doing. And it's impossible. It will never happen. And so that's why we say, call off the search, Papaji. Call off the search. Give it up. Give it up. And the me won't. That's the dilemma. The me says, okay, well, I'm really going to give it up now. Okay, I'll just, it's almost like, someone closes their eyes and they say they can't see you. I can't see you. Well, yeah, because your eyes are closed, but you know I'm still here. So it's like the me plays all these games. If I do this, then I'll be enlightened. If I meditate for 10 years, if I go to this retreat or that retreat, this satsang is saying there's literally nothing to be done because it's already the case.
I'm glad you said that, because I do feel like there's some time I experience some fear of giving any about experiencing excitement about the dreams that I have about I'm like, no, I shouldn't get excited. That's for the ego. so so I try to just let it be there, but not like completely identify with it.
Yeah, it's actually more enjoyable when the me's not there judging. Then you're free to play.
So Michael, I have a question.
Yeah, hi, Kim.
Hi. I've been just trying to kind of explore this idea of no me or no thing, but still be, an individual in this world, kind of moving about it. And so I was trying to think about like a hypothetical situation where, like, say you're around somebody that you realize, like, I don't want to be around them. So the me would insert judgment. So the me would say, this person's bad, or I don't like them. If you take the me away and you still want to navigate that situation, do you then just assess it and say, I don't want to be here? Because sometimes it gets confusing. It's like, if you dissolve the me, how do you navigate? Do you just kind of hang out with like whoever's in your peripheral? You still have agency, for lack of a better term. It's just not a judgment. Is that close at all?
No.
Okay. Then what is?
You don't dissolve the me. So I'll say it again, listen very clearly, because this is our starting position. The me never existed.
So then without the me.
Without what's never existed, go ahead.
Without what's never existed, like as a person on this planet, how do you, within this framework, how do you navigate these situations?
Right. So Kim, do you see how the me keeps coming back in through the back door and trying to carve out a special place for itself? So in a way, you're saying there's life plus me. There's life and then Kim. And then Michael says, well, there's actually no me. Well, okay, but the separate individual that needs to, life is doing everything. Life is doing this moment. Life is nodding your head. Life is causing your eyes to blink. Life is making whatever thoughts are appearing in your head right now. That's what's doing it. The me has never done anything. The me is a total and complete illusion.
So I do nothing, and what is happening is just happening.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been talking about this in our private session, Alice and Ron. I was telling them about intuition. I was saying that there is an intuitive knowing that's not from your head. I'm going to mute. It's a little noise. Anybody on? Oh, okay. So there is an intuitive knowing, Kim, that if you get quiet, and I was sharing this with Alice about my brand new air conditioner that almost fell out the window because I was installing it by myself, and I had one arm on the 54-pound new air conditioner and the screwdriver and the 2x4, and the screws weren't lining up. And in that moment, it appeared that there was a problem. Yeah, I could see my mind saying, uh-oh, the screws aren't lining up with the holes. You're holding this with one hand. You got all this stuff. If it falls, there goes $400. And I started laughing because in that moment, I could not see a problem. The screws were not lining up with the holes. That's it. That's literally all was happening. But I watched as my mind went to DEFCON 5 and started spinning and freaking out and saying, uh-oh, if these screws don't fit, first of all, you got to get this down safely without dropping it out the window. And it tried to make it, I could feel it. I could feel the energy of a problem beginning to arise. And I wasn't having it. I wasn't buying into it. I watched it. So can we do that when our mind spins? Are we able to sit and observe it and realize that if we're able to observe it, then it can't be us?
Sorry, I just unmuted myself because there's street background
Okay,
noise.
thank you. That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, that's me. There's a street right back there. So that makes sense. I mean, sometimes I think when you join a new group, it's the lexicon, it's the terminology that you get a little hung up on as a newbie, and intuition makes complete sense to me. Removing the story, removing the mind chatter makes complete sense to me. I think sometimes for me, at least, it's navigating the language. Do you know what I mean? And what's meant by it? Because that seems completely natural to me, to trust your intuition and just that feeling and that knowing, and not the mind of the story about, you know, how everything's going to play out.
Exactly. And let me tell you the end of my story. So there I am, one arm hanging on to the new air conditioner, screwdriver, 2x4, plexic, all this happening, mind wanting to freak out, me laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. And I did exactly what I talk about. I took a moment, I took a breath, and I got still. Right there, still holding the screwdriver, still holding the air conditioner, still holding the 2x4, still holding the plexiglass somehow with just two hands. And suddenly, once I got still, I noticed that when I pulled out the old air conditioner, it had pushed the sliding glass window a ½ inch over. And I hadn't noticed that. And that's why the screws weren't lining up. Once I got calm, I took a breath, the stillness was there. I just saw it. I just go, oh my God. And I just reached out with a finger, you know, pinky that wasn't being used. And I slid the window and everything aligned perfectly. Now, I can't explain that, but everything just fell into place and I wasn't using my mind.
And Michael, if you had used your mind, if you're like me and you had used your mind, which you're not supposed to, then and the air conditioner fell out the window and injured somebody,
Yeah.
what then? What then? We just go with the flow, yeah?
Well, okay, so that's a hypothetical. And I'm glad you brought that up, Faith. Let's talk about that, right? Because this is really important, underlying what we're about to say. There is literally only what's happening. Literally. So the mind will come up with scenario after scenario if you let it, if you get on board with what it's doing. But the reality is, like Faith, you asking that exact question, nothing else could happen in this moment except you asking that question. So there's only what's happening, and that's the freedom. That's what I'm saying. When life has no agenda, it's already free, it's wild, it's unpredictable, it's uncontrollable, it's unknowable. So knowing is the first step. This is so shocking. And I have to say, it took many years to see this. You would never suspect knowing as the first step into suffering. But the first thing you ever knew was what? I exist, right? Somewhere the baby senses mom outside and gets the idea, oh, there's something not me here. And as soon as there's not me, there's a me. And so around the age of 2, 2.5, the baby starts to develop this separate sense of self. And then it just gets thicker and thicker and thicker as the years and the conditioning pile up. And it seems almost impossible to get out of that. And you're now in your own prison of knowing. And so why do I say that knowing is the first step into suffering? Because nothing here is knowable. So if you know you have a me, that's a knowing. You know something. Life doesn't need to know anything.
It sounds like a free fall into nothingness, emptiness, whatever.
Yeah, so how does that hit you, right? Does the idea of not being anything sound like a good idea, or does it sound horrible and scary?
I think we talked about it last week, and I think both.
Yeah, who said that? Someone else? Joyce.
Might have been.
Yeah, that was really honest. So for the me, it will be terrifying, right? Because it's saying, the me's basically saying, no, I don't want to go. But yet the me is also, it's like a love-hate thing, because the me is also our source of suffering. So that's the love-hate. I love my me, but I hate my me. So this is about freedom from both of those. It's freedom as imagining that you're a me, because you're not a me, you're life. You're not separate from life, and the me imagines it's separate from life. I mean, what are you going to do? If you're not separate from life, if it's all one, non-duality, not two, if that's the truth, that's actually reality, then if you imagine you're a separate anything, how do you not suffer? Right? If I take myself to be separate, autonomous, independent from life, and that's not actually the case.
So I just realized it's freedom from the attachment to what doesn't exist.
Very good. Nice, Joyce.
Which sounds crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Freedom from what doesn't exist. And so, Kim, you'll continue to do your mothering duties and your wife duties and your job duties because life's been doing it all along. That's the message from Satsang. The me is just a credit taker. It says, oh yeah, I did that when it's good. And when it's bad, it feels guilty. There's no freedom in being a me. Go ahead.
I wanted to go back to, we were talking about the me and knowing being a source of suffering. And I understand that and I agree with that, but then it reminds me of what I've seen of Ram Dass, and he says the suffering is the grace, the suffering is the path to awakening. And I have to be honest and say, like, in a weird way, I'm not done suffering. Like, is that a very strange thing to say? But I'm very self-aware, and I've personally had a chunk of years where I had to be very selfless, and I have a little freedom now. And for the first time in my life, like, I want to have a me show, you know? I want to, like, have the meanness bubbling up, completely counteractive to what we're doing here, and I understand that. But it's just a personal moment I'm having. But I think the suffering is, I know you said in the past that if you get to this point of non-duality, of life and me-ishness being one, that you still will make mistakes, you still will live and be human. But when I hear, like, removing the suffering, I know what it is. I've had moments, I've been there, I loved it. I don't want it yet. Is that?
I'm sorry, what don't you want?
I don't want, I don't want to be there yet. I know it, I know what it is. I've seen it. I love it, I appreciate it. And I think it's just something in me I need to explore, is that I'm fully recognizing that I don't want to go there yet.
So Kim, I'm going to jump in and ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a sense that that's the me talking right now?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, that's the me talking.
Yeah.
And the me can actually, I know it's distractions, but the me can also be very fun, and it can be very entertaining, right? I know this might be just like hypocrisy to say things like this in this setting, but this is just me trying to figure it out, and recognizing where I am right now. For sure, it's the me. It's all me not wanting to go there. Liking it, wanting it eventually, but not now.
It's perfect. So wherever you're at, and I'll say this for everyone, is literally the perfect place to be, because you can't be anywhere else. Wherever you're at is the perfect place to be, because you can't be anywhere else.
All right.
Oh, sorry, I muted you because it was a little noisy. Go ahead. No, Kim, I want to hear. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember what I said, but something to the effect of, like, I'm not going to have a me moment right now, but just in general, just a little one, and then
it's
move on.
But when I say you can't screw up, I'm being genuine. It would be like saying, Daryl Bailey, a Zen teacher, used to say, he said, it would be like saying one snowflake is doing it wrong. A snowflake is it's falling incorrectly. There is no right or wrong way for this. Your path is as unique as you, and it won't be to anyone else. It's all you. So yeah, you're good. Yeah, wherever you're at. And just know that it can change. Just know that you can feel very strongly one moment, and tomorrow you could feel completely different.
Yeah.
I also hear a lot of times in satsang the idea that somehow this awakening or awareness changes who we are. Like, we become non-human, meaning we don't still, like, sometimes there's a perception that, like, what am I going to do? Just sit on a couch and meditate for the rest of my life? When in my experience, that's not what it is. It's, you know, if you look at some of the most the most well-known yogis and non-duality teachers, they still go out, they still live lives, they still are human beings. Some of them still love cricket or football or sports. Some of them still have quirky temperaments and personalities that you can identify as a personality. It's not that they become robots. It's that you have completely grokked, to use Michael's word, like you completely I can't even embodied this sense, this experience of not being a body, if that makes any sense. I might have just really screwed that up.
And I think it's like when you're not so attached to the person too, you can afford to have more fun. You're not as self-conscious. Life becomes more light. It's not so serious anymore.
That's it.
You know?
Brittany, no, but you nailed it. Because look at the word you used. That's perfect. Self-conscious. When the self is on the scene, it's always self-conscious. How do I look? How am I coming off? Do people like me? Do I have food on my face? You know, it's the me is always concerned with judgment. And why? Because it's busy judging others. So as long as you take yourself to be a me, there's no freedom. It's a false identity. It's not your, there's just life. Everything is life appearing as this, as however it's appearing, and no one's doing it. What is making this moment happen? Somebody tell me.
So Michael,
Hi, Joan.
can you? So I go around and I see thoughts in my head and I know I'm full of bunk.
Okay, stop. I'm going to stop you there. We're going to get to this one. So who is seeing the thoughts?
Some kind of observer.
Well, so you don't even need to go any farther, right? Because if you are saying that I'm observing my thoughts, I want to know who that I is. Because
I don't know.
Right. So that's the honest thing to say. Stay with the not knowing. The truth.
I don't know, but when I see thoughts going on, I'm like, I'm so full of it.
Yeah.
You know, just like, what the hell, you know? And so, like, I start teasing my husband into something totally ludicrous. And then he's much more pliable and willing to go along with whatever, you know, like I want to go for a walk. It's like, no, I'm too tired to go for a walk. And I said, well, I think you should kiss my toes. And I said something stupid, you know. Next thing you know, we're going for a walk together.
Right. So, Joan, this is the me. This is a good example, and I just want to highlight it because the me, do you guys see the me's relationship is if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, either directly or indirectly. Everything the me does is for a gain. What's in it for me? How does this, if we're friends, how does that help me? And there's no peace in that. There's no freedom in being in this dualistic me versus me, which is what's on the internet. That's all you're seeing on TV and the news is all the me's arguing from their point of view. And so there's no freedom in that because as a me, I'm stuck with whatever belief system I'm believing. And by the way, you didn't pick your belief system.
That's true.
Michael, it occurred to me during the week that, like, I've been brought up to think that actions have consequences, this action consequences thing.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about non-dual, as you present it to me, what does it do to the actions and consequences theory?
Well, it demolishes it because in reality, if life, I'll always bring it back to this. If life is doing everything, life is growing the grass, breathing your lungs, making your eyes blink, making your blood circulate, it's doing everything.
Mm.
That's why I say the me faith is a credit taker. You have to respect the illusion. You have to respect Maya. Like, you know, bow to this. This is amazing. Like, how is this moment happening? Forget seeking a miracle in the future. How about this right now? Is this not a big enough miracle for you? Brittany.
Well, the action versus consequences routine or theory is a limiting, restricting one, no?
Yeah, because it's the action, the me is taking credit. It says, I'm doing this and I want the results. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just story, Faith. It's just story. It's just what the me does. But the fact that you're here at Satsang, there must be something inside you that's resonating, even just like a speck of it. Something in you just goes, I smell a rat. Like something is off with the way the world is. That's how it was here.
Mm.
I couldn't get life to work. Michael was a complete and utter failure at getting life to work.
Yeah, you've said that a few times about not being able to get life to work. And during the week, since our last satsang, I thought to myself, I'm with you on that. I can't get life to work. It's going downhill fast.
I just feel like nothing makes any sense anymore, and like that's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing makes any sense, and there's no reason for anything. Nothing has any purpose, and that's okay.
Joan, that's beautiful. That's actually it. Because the me seeks meaning in everything.
Yeah.
Everything has great importance. If I did it, of course it's important, says the me. So what you just pointed out, Joan, is that life is inherently meaningless. Why would
Random stuff happening.
Why would life need a meaning? Why life doesn't need that's a me concept. So we project that onto life because everything means something to us. We assume that life says, oh yeah, you know, things mean things. No.
Nothing means anything anymore. I just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell I do anymore. I don't even know what I do. The days just pass. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't really care. It's like people are talking about the election, like, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Life is going to go on anyway. I don't care.
I heard a beautiful, this is not my quote, but I saw a comment left on another non-duality speaker's YouTube video, and I really liked it. So may I share it with you?
Please do.
It's a very short little quote, but I thought it was so beautiful. It said, all paradoxes are held by this. All paradoxes are held by this. That's the love. All paradoxes. So what you love, someone else hates. This holds both of those lovingly. This holds your joy lovingly, and it holds your sadness lovingly. This holds all paradoxes the same, all lovingly. It's all allowed. That's how we know it's accepted, because here it is. You're experiencing it. So It's all allowed. If it shows up, it's allowed. It's only the me that has a problem with it. It's me, right? The arrogance of the me to tell life, how dare you make that tire flat? How dare you? I had an appointment, life. I had an appointment, and now I may be late. Can you imagine? The ego's telling life, God, the source, the Tao, the infinite, all that is, that it's screwed up.
I think what I've experienced since all of this, and none of nothing really happened, but since since this awakening happened, it's like I have this deep love for life, but at the same time I understand that I'm apart from it as well. So it's not like I don't care what's happening in the world. I do. I still, honestly, I feel like I experience more emotion now when I see someone that's hurting or sad. I feel even deeper because I understand they're my own self. And I'm more quick to help, someone that's homeless or a child in need or something like that, because they're my very own self. And I'm more open to helping them. But at the same time, I understand that everything is just unfolding. I'm not so attached to an outcome, but at the same time, I don't mind what's happening. And I'm very just, so much love is here for the opportunity to get to experience this beautiful play.
And Brittany, you said something that caught my attention. You were talking about both you really fell into this and yet somehow detached at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So that's perfect, because that's basically what I'm saying, in that everything and nothing doesn't give you anywhere to land. That's the point. If this is nothing, literally, where do you think everything comes from? Like, we never stop to take a moment and go, where does life come from? Right? Nobody ever stops. It's all about me. I'm just adding to my pile, right? Hold on. Where did this moment come from? It came from nothing. So nothing is appearing as everything. And the point is, it doesn't give you, the me, anywhere to grab a hold of. Because what are you going to grab if it's nothing appearing as everything?
It's just so beautiful.
No, that's it. It's beautiful just because. It doesn't need a reason to be beautiful. And the me always needs a reason. Kim, is any of this making sense or landing, or do you have any questions?
Yeah, all of it's making sense. Just taking it in and enjoying it.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else like to share, comment, question before we close out?
I wanted to ask Brittany where she's going to be in North Carolina, because that's where I am.
I'm from Tarboro, North Carolina. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's just a little town. It's like 15
I'm in Asheville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm flying into Raleigh, but yeah, I'll probably be in Tarboro for the most.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering if you're going to be anywhere in the area. Okay.
Okay, well, you guys can exchange maybe, emails afterwards. And
yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Any other last questions, comments?
Yes, I do. I wasn't totally clear when you said all paradoxes are held by this. That's the love. And you said love, hate, joy, and sadness. Can you explain a little? It's not falling in.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Alice. So, love and hate are opposites.
Yes.
Joy and sadness, opposites.
Yes.
This, which there isn't a word for, right? What word could we use for everything and nothing? I mean, Paul Morgan Summers calls it neverything. Right? We have to invent our own vocabulary. Words are not it. Right? That was my post from yesterday. No word has ever described you. You're undescribable. You.
Thank you.
Did that help?
It helped immensely.
Michael, I just want to say it's good to see you, brother.
Jim Drever. So great to see you here, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Alan.
Nice to see you.
You too, bro. And Joyce.
So, as we say goodnight, life will be moving, all of us, however it moves us. Maybe some will be making dinner, maybe some will be getting ready for bed, some people might be starting their day. But that life is doing all of it. And it's always done everything. You know, when you were born, when the baby was born coming out of the body, you weren't there yet. The me had not set up shop. So you were dependent on life taking care of that body as it came out of mom. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And at some point, the ego arose spontaneously. Nobody did anything wrong. It just seems to be what happens. And suddenly, this energy, this contracted energy says, okay, now I'm in control. Let me see what I can get done around these parts. And the me honestly thinks that it has its own power. But where does it get its power from? That's a good one to end on, huh? Where does the me get its power from? Thank you guys so much for coming to Satsang. Kim, thank you again for the donation, much appreciated. Thank you all so very much. Have a great evening, great day. I'm always available. If you want to contact me, you can send me a message, Facebook, you can email me, and I'll try and get this up on YouTube within the next 24 hours or so. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Have a
Thanks,
great
Michael.
evening.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.